How do you tell Marcus Jackson from Marc Danyell? It's like a Superman, Clark Kent type situation. It's just as simple as this. Bam, there it is. I'm a different person now. We're good. So they asked me to come up here and tell my story, and I struggled to figure out the best way to, talk about, how I got to where I am today. I figured I'd talk about music and its impact to my personal life. The best way to do that is, start off with your childhood. So I was a beautiful, handsome, well-dressed young man. But the important piece of this is I grew up in a black church. My dad was actually a pastor, so I was in the church pretty much every day, all day. When I wasn't in school and doing homework, I was in the church. And is anybody familiar with the black church? You see it on TV. It's a lot of excitement, music, singing, dancing. It's an experience in itself. I think the underlying thing that you have to take from it is music is a very important aspect of the black church. So because I grew up in the church, something that's very important to me. It's a beautiful picture of my church there when I grew up. But I began to think, although music was a part of my life, I didn't really understand its impact until I looked at truly, what it meant to me. One of the things I began to think about is, especially in the IT space, we deal with a lot of problems. Even if it's not your own problem. You deal with a lot of problems, and the thing that I noticed about myself is I tend to internalize those problems. I try my darndest to figure out how can I fix whatever problem is going on around me. And it becomes very stressful. It becomes very tiring. And, we talk about it here at J&J all the time, being able to, separate work from life. When stress comes, it just takes over everything. So I really look to music to be that escape for me. Another aspect that I think about is I think about how music allows me to step away from the world that I'm a part of. Most people say books do that for them. Music allows me to kind of take myself into the fantasy world, to really go into a space where at least the person that's expressing themselves, they're trying to take me. So I really listen to music. I really embrace the sounds that I hear. That's why if you ever stop by my desk, you'll always see me with headphones on. And depending on how stressed or how tired I am, you might hear it a little bit louder than normal. The last aspect that I'll talk about is how music gives me the words that I'm generally afraid to say. And I really focused on this as I, go back to grade school and go back to high school. I wasn't as suave as I am today. I was very shy. Believe it or not, I never talked at all. So it was tough for me to, walk up to a girl and say, hey, I like you. But one thing I found that, it was very simple to, take a song and, walk up to a girl, grab her hand and just say, I love you. I love you. See, I saw some of y'all start smiling and everything. That's the impact that music has. And I use that, to my advantage. I'm guilty as charged. But it allowed me to say those things that are very tough. And even as I continue to progress into, who I become today, this Marc Danyell figure, I realized that, even in matters of faith, love, even in my everyday experience, music was my avenue to get to where I am. And it's something that's very central to the place that I am now and the work that I'm doing, even as an artist. It gives me that ability to tell my story. And actually, I'm going to, take the time and do a song from my debut album entitled Close to You, Marc Danyell. It's in iTunes, Amazon, all of that. Go check it out. But this song that I'm going to do is entitled Close to You. Just a closer walk with me. That's the song my mama used to sing to me. I didn't know what it meant to have have you with me. But now the reason is so clear. I just want to be close. That is where I want to be. You said, if I draw closer to you, if I draw, you will draw closer to me. When I'm with you, I have my peace, and I'll find your joy that strengthens me. And when I'm with you, there's healing for my hurting soul, and the love that I long for. And I just want to be close. I just wanna. That is where I want to be. And you say, if I draw closer to you, that if I draw closer to you, you will draw closer to me. A simple song. I just want to be close. Just wrap me in your arms. That is where I want to be. And you say, if I draw closer to you, that if I draw closer to you, you will draw closer to me. This is my favorite part here. You said not the doors would be open. You said, ask, I shall receive. Well, my prayer is really very simple. For a closer walk with me. And I just want, that is where I want to be. If I draw closer to you, you will draw closer to me. Yes, you did. I just want to be close. That is where I want to be. That is where I want to be. To dwell with you, to commune with you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Said I just wanna be close to you. Said I just wanna be close to you. I just wanna be close to you. Yeah. Said I just wanna be close to you. Oh, yeah. Thank you.